again, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I wanted to make this video like 2 weeks ago, but what a journey it was trying to get these palettes to me. So first of all, I was so excited because 2 weeks ago, the palettes arrived on my doorstep. I was like, yes, I'm gonna get these videos out nice and early, or video, because there's only one. But I was so excited. I thought I was gonna get the video up like that weekend, but then something peculiar happened. Peculiar. Do you ever have one word that you just can't say? For me, it's that word. So something strange happened. I lifted up the package and I was like, this feels really, really light, like there's not a single thing in it. And I look, sure enough, package completely empty. Whoever packaged the package, how many times can you say package? Whoever closed the package did not stick the sticky part onto the other side of the envelope. So the sticky part essentially just stuck to itself, if that makes any sense. And the flap was left wide open. If you've ever had a package delivered to you, you know those things are like manhandled all over the place. So the contents inside did not have a single chance whatsoever in surviving the trip. So I sent the email to Nyx. I was like, yo, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, we can reship it to you. And I was like, cool, great. When will that be? And they're like, 1 to 3 business days. Well, like 10 business days later. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. It was like 5. I was like, where's the package? I have no confirmation email, no tracking email. It hasn't even been shipped. Like, what's going on? So eventually they're like, yeah, sure. And then 2 weeks later, here we are with the palettes. Let's hope that they're worth it. So what I'm talking about is Nyx holiday palettes. And the theme for this year is Gimme Superstars. And they had 2 palettes that look just like this. And then they had like a collection of like lip glosses, maybe like eyeliners. I don't know. Nothing really that stand outish to me. Like I wasn't even sure if they were new releases. So I essentially just kind of ignored all the rest from this collection. To be honest, I had way more fun with their collection from last year and maybe the year before that or the year before that. So let's take a look at some of their previous holiday collections. So last year was the Diamonds and Ice collection, and I picked up the palette that looked like this. They had some fun sparkly lipsticks. They had jelly eyeshadows. So I thought last year's collection was really fun. And then they also did like the Sugar Trip collection, which, you know, they had like this bright colorful palette that I shamefully never used. They just had some fun highlighters that look like little lollipop swirly-doos. I think I have like a purple highlighter somewhere from them in that collection. And then they did some like pressed glitters. So their last 2 collections, in my opinion, were really fun. So I was kind of underwhelmed by the creativity for this year's collection. Although I will give it to Nyx because obviously, as you can tell, like based off of like their holiday collections, they do have some creativity and fun with their collections. It's not just like the same thing every single year in the same similar packaging. I'm looking at you two-faced. So they actually like really try to get into it. So I will give them points for that. It's just that this year's collection didn't like really get me super excited. Although this palette right here, this shimmery palette, like bam, look at that. So like I said, they have 2 eyeshadow palettes. They're both $10 a piece. Now I am a little nervous because I do have a couple of other palettes from them in this like 5 shade formula thing, and I don't find them to be super impressive, so we'll see. Like for me, Nyx is very hit or miss. Like some things I absolutely love, like I love their Valentine's Day palette. I liked the Diamonds and Ice palette, and then some things are just kind of like meh, okay. So I'm hoping I'll like this one. So this one's really pretty, but as you can see, you have 4 shimmery shades and then you have just the 1 matte shade. And that is the only matte shade you get in this entire eyeshadow collection. You don't really get any good transition shades, so it's like, I don't know. And then you get this one, which I'm going to be careful because one of the shades is slightly broken. Ooh, the whole palette's slightly broken. Not impressed with your packaging, Nyx. So this one is all shimmer, and honestly, it's really pretty. I like the shimmery colors. Oh my gosh, will you look at that? Like, oh my god. So, buy from Nyx in the store. Don't order for them online, my word. Anyways, so the colors are definitely really pretty. It's just, you don't get much to work with. Originally, I wanted to use a palette on each eye, but then after realizing I only have one matte shade in the entire collection, I'm like, better not. So that's kind of a bit of a letdown. The palettes do look very similar to each other, so I don't know that you need both. Probably not. But I do have to say, I like the colors. I mean, I already said that. But I think these are a fun holiday palette. You know, for me, holiday palettes don't necessarily just mean like red and green. It could literally mean icy blues, silvers, gold, shimmery. My favorite time for buying clothes is during the holidays because the stores just start coming out with like all this sparkly goodness, and I just eat that right up. So to me, shimmery sparkles like this just scream holidays. So even though it's not like your traditional holiday colors, I still think this is pretty cute for a holiday palette. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop talking because I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing me talking. And my arms are itching from this top. So let's get started. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Let's put some eyeshadow on you. Do you ever just think like, wow, I'm cheesy, and how does anybody on this earth like me? Because same. So I made the mistake of putting on like this horrible lip color that did not look good on me, and I tried to wipe it off, but it was like not happening. It's like, no man, I'm staying here rent free. I was like, cool, since you're not gonna go, I guess I'm gonna try to cover you up. So I just like put on like a ton of lip gloss, and I don't know that it looks any better. I think the only thing we can do to start with is to take this purple color right here and put it in the crease. So it's kind of a bummer that we don't have a mirror in any of these palettes, but in the words of Gloria Gaynor, I will survive. And survive I will. Okay, so this is actually a pretty decent purple, minus the little bit of fallout we have going on here. I'm not usually impressed by purples just because they're a hard color to master, which is a shame because I absolutely love purple. I love wearing it on the eyes. So I always get pleased when I find a purple that I can work with, which, to be honest, it seems like this is a purple you can work with. I mean, it's a little bit on the patchy side, but I think it's still definitely a workable purple. It's definitely more of like a grungy purple too. Okay, let's try to blend that out. Doesn't look like it's, I mean, okay. It kind of does not want to budge. Actually, while I have you, before I forget, there is something I noticed where I really liked it, and it says for this palette, it tells you right here on the label, which I don't think you can see because the writing's really small, it says this shade, and this shade are not for eyes, which I can't really figure out why. I mean, normally there would be two reasons why they would say that, and that would be because it's like an intense pigment, which would mean it would stay in the eye, or it has glitter in it, which these three definitely do, but they're not any different than the glitter in those other shades. So I don't know. Oh my gosh, this palette's like beat to hell. Like, it looks like all these shades in there are ready to just crumble and break. So yeah, I'm not really sure why those ones are not eye safe. And then it looks like for this one, the entire palette cannot be used on or around the eye. Okay then. Okay then. Well, you know, let me just tell you, I've been breaking that rule for quite some time, and nothing bad has ever happened to me. Although the last time I did go to the eye doctor, they did say I didn't have 20/20 vision anymore. So that could be No, just kidding. Honestly, I think you'll be fine. It just, obviously, you don't want to wear intense pigments on your eyes because it could stain. You don't want to wear glitter on your eyes because it could get in there and hurt quite a bit. But, I don't know. I think this will be fine. They say not to, but we do anyways, because beauty is pain and pain is beauty. Alright, so there you have it. I mean, definitely when you blend this shade out, that's when you really start to see the patchiness. You start to see like it just fading all over the place and not having the strongest pigmentation. But if you look at it from a distance, like even in the viewfinder, I think it still looks pretty decent. I mean, granted, I have hooded eyes, so it covers up like half the patchiness. So I've got that working for me for once. But overall, I think it's a workable color. Alright, so let's go back into this palette that's not meant for the eyes and put this color on the eyes. I think we're going to go with like a purple silver theme. Ooh, what is wrong with this purple? Feel like I have to dig a little bit into the palette to get it on the brush, and ooh, yeah. Like, I just knew that was gonna happen. I just looked at this purple and I could just tell in the pan that it was gonna suck. Like, I just have that purple intuition now. Okay, so yeah, this purple shade's not really working for me at all. I mean, if you really dig your brush in there and say a quick prayer to the makeup gods, you might get a little bit on your brush. I mean, like, come on guys, look at this. Hold on. Do you see that? Like, I'm really, really working that brush in there. And now, put it on the eye and barely anything. Barely anything. I like to keep things even, so we're gonna try to do that on the other eye, but oh yeah, this shade sucks hardcore. That is terrible. That is like the worst purple shade I have ever encountered in my entire life, and that's saying a lot because I've encountered a lot of crappy shades. Alright, so I think I'm going to go into this broken palette and take that purple shimmery shade. Because what else do I have to work with? Like, I don't really have any shades that are that dark either that make good. What is this called? My outer V. Like, yeah, it doesn't really make any good outer V shades because they're not dark enough. Oh, even this one. What the? If I was a swearing kind of channel, I would be swearing right about now. Oh! This is super frustrating. Alright, okay. Well, let's go into the shade on the end. I did not want to do that, but I want to keep my eyes more purple. I mean, I'm starting to think that these shimmery shades are meant to be toppers more than anything else. I mean, yeah, look at that. That's like no pigmentation, so that's probably meant to be a topper. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a good glitter topper, especially during the holidays. But can we get like some workable shades in here? Like, I don't want two palettes of just topper shades. I want a nice transition shade. I want a nice dark shade that I could put in the outer corner. I want it all. I want a nice rounded palette, and between the two of these palettes, I don't have hardly any shades I can work with. So this is super frustrating. Okay. Wow. We're going to move on. I'm debating what shade I want to put on the lid. I think I'm going to go with this shade. It's a little more darker, grungier, and honestly, it probably won't show up that well, so might as well go for the darker shade. Am I right? I feel like this would probably do better with the brush wet, but we're gonna try it anyways. Oh, okay, actually, all right, yay. We got our first decent shade. Actually, that first purple shade I did wasn't bad. This is pretty. You know what this shade reminds me of? Ooh, it feels like I have a sty coming on. No, that's not what that shade reminds me of. But this shade reminds me of when I was much younger. I had this really pretty black sparkly eyeshadow. I think it was from Revlon. And it had like the most pretty glitters in it. It was like purple and pink and blue. And it was so cool. It was like holographic. It was like holographic glitter and like a black shadow. So it was really pretty. I liked it a lot. And I wore it to a Halloween party, and then I lost my makeup bag, which had that shade in it. And I was devastated. I looked all over the world for that shade. Did end up finding it, but it took some time. Okay, actually that's really pretty. I like that black shade. Like, again, it's very sheer. I mean, not like super sheer, but definitely more glittery, more on the lines of a topper, although I think it can work on its own, to be honest. Like, see, this is what I think of when I think of holidays, like a shade like that. That's really pretty. I approve. I want to do like a kind of highlight shade below the brow bone, so I think I'm gonna go in this shade. It's a little more pink than I'd like it to be, but I just kind of want to use as many shades as I can just to give you sort of general idea. Like, oh yeah, look at that pink. Or look at that purple. Do you see that swatched out? Like, where is it? Like, that shade right there. So, like, what is the matter with these things? And there's the peach one. Peach one's not bad. Very, very subtle. Like, just, no. And then if you could see right there, hardly you could see it, but it's there, are these two shades right here. Honestly, these ones aren't too bad. I really get the feeling that this palette right here is just a whole bunch of shimmery, glittery topper shades. That's the exact vibe I'm getting from this palette. I want to be careful about this one because honestly it's more glittery than it is shimmery, so it's gonna catch the light something fierce. It's not gonna be a subtle highlight. Honestly, you probably shouldn't even use this as a highlight because it's a glitter shade, but you know, like I said, I want to use as many shades from this palette as possible, and I like to do a whole look with one palette. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, let's pick something to line the lower lash line with, and I think I'm gonna go in with this other shade that I didn't use. I probably wouldn't advise it because sometimes when I use like shimmery shades to line the lower lash line, the glitter just flies up into my eye and it's a good time. Should probably use like a glitter eyeliner if you want glitter below your eye. Ooh, but that's really pretty though. There is some fallout on this palette, but honestly, it's nothing crazy. I mean, I think that's pretty standard when you have glitter. Oh my gosh. Whoa. I'm just looking at my eye and like all I see is just glitter, like everywhere. Like subtle, tiny flecks of glitter, just like, hi, hello. Actually, I take that back. Maybe there is more fallout than I realized because this eye looks like it is covered. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is straight glitter. It's not fallout from the pigmentation, it's fallout from the glitter. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay, I think we're done here. Okay, so there you have the final look. Did you get your looks in? Alright, so let's talk about these palettes. Obviously, I'm not super impressed with them, as you could tell. For $10, I mean, that's not like an extremely high price point. I know sometimes Nyx gets a little bit up there, but I think the price tag is reasonable. However, I just don't feel like these are satisfying as palettes. First of all, you can't really get a complete look out of either palette. I feel like you just can't. Like, you can make it work, but it's kind of a stretch. Like, I was hoping for something a little darker, a little smokier, and that just didn't happen. So with this palette, the only shade that really, no, I wasn't even impressed by that shade. I just thought like, oh, hey, that works for a purple shade. I can live with that. But honestly, nothing about this palette caught my attention whatsoever. And I positively hated this purple shade right here. So I truly feel like, without a doubt, you could 100% pass on this palette. Now, let's talk about this one. This one is a really fun glittery palette. The shades in here are a little less frustrating to work with. I actually did quite enjoy these two shades over here. I thought they were pretty decent, but I think the thing you really need to keep in mind about this palette, it is Shimmer City. Now, this is fine if you're just looking for like a fun holiday palette to spice up a look, like add some shimmer, a little bit of glitz. That's fine. I think this is pretty decent for that. Like, I think it serves its purpose as a glitter topper palette. But if you're looking for this palette to stand on its own, then heck no, this is not it. But it does add some fun glitter to your look. But also keep in mind, those glitters get absolutely everywhere. So if you like your glitter to be contained, which is really hard, but if you like it, this palette's not for you. If you're not a fan of glitter, you just want to stay away from it, then stay away from this palette. But I think if you keep in mind when you purchase this palette that it is not a standalone palette, is just something to go hand in hand with another palette, then sure, go ahead, get it. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like I said, it's really fun sometimes to add a little bit of glitter to your look, especially during the holidays. So I feel like this palette can accomplish that job. It's just not strong enough to stand on its own is all. So there you have it. There's a review. I'm not super impressed, but if you really want something, go with the shimmery one, not that other one, because you've got like a lot of sheer shades here, and it's not like this super festive look that you're getting. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to subscribe because I do have a giveaway going on this channel until Halloween. You will be winning the Ethereal Bloom palette from Artist Couture, which looks a little something like this. And all you have to do to enter is be a subscriber of this channel, like this video, leave a comment, don't really care what, and you just have to be a resident of the United States, and that's it. That's the rules. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!